Neocolonization and gentrification. Gentrification, using poor urban areas and renewing them for business. How can we comprehend loss and that led to current situation in Puerto Rico? The following graph depicts the downfall of the Puerto Rican economy after the removal of the 936 law, a law that was formed to help the Puerto Rican's economy, but later was removed because the United States thought that was not beneficial for them without thinking of Puerto Rican unemployed people. How did the influence of former colonialism possibly impact gentrification? There are still some fragments of slavery and all the things that happened 2 centuries ago. 2 or more centuries ago, like 4. In the midst of current situation, can the effects of neocolonialism Puerto Rico be reversed? Yes, they sure can. How can you understand the laws and actions involved to form the current situation? Jones Act prohibit any foreign ship from shipping goods to Puerto Rico, creating shortage. So essentially, the United States was the only one that brought embargo to Puerto Rico. The GATT law made it crime to display Puerto Rican flag or just, do anything that involves nationalism. Section 936, corporations benefited greatly locating, if this happened, a lot of companies left Puerto Rico and a lot of people were left unemployed after that. Corruption is a great factor in why Puerto Rico has a $72 billion debt, and the reason why a lot of corruption exists in Puerto Rico is because a lot of Puerto Rican leaders are impacted and influenced by the US political powers. Like, a lot of these men were Trump supporters, and Trump is a very well known corrupt president, and it's no surprise that these men are also corrupt. Most of these men had criminal accusations in which none of them had gone to jail for them or faced any major persecutions until last year. How did the influence of former colonialism impact gentrification? Colonialism has left a legacy in which many, until recently, had praised colonialism in countries. Like, there's a lot of statues and a lot of things, a lot of dates that celebrate slavery. Businesses were now selling their country to those countries that once colonized the country. It's giving very much Stockholm syndrome. Like, the own people are selling the country for money. And it's not for a lot of money. For example, they're selling a big chunk of a beach for $148,000. And the debt is of $72 billion. How is $148,000 gonna solve debt? It's not solving the debt, it's selling the country. It's like, yeah. In the midst of the current situation, how can it be reversed? Well, annexation is a bad option, so independence will benefit both parties. Total power to legislate under the legal fiction of a simultaneous transfer of theoretical powers, like full control of the government of Puerto Rico, let them have their own thing, and monetary fund and World Bank in general agreement of tariffs and trade. Puerto Rico still needs the money of the United States because they had never been independent, so they need that. He says that China were once colonized by the British. Why don't they have statues of their colonizers? this is the first step we need to take. We need to take down all the statues, all the signs, all the dates that praise these men that once oppressed us. Ephraim, and this is like a argument. The end.